Hello, my name is Dwayne Marsh. I'm responsible for the smooth running of the operations team here at Bridge Coffee Roasters. In this video, we're just going to talk a little bit about how much it costs to repair a coffee machine. So with a coffee machine repair, there are many factors that do influence the cost of it. We'll talk through some of those factors now and then talk some real numbers at the end. The first factor we'll talk about is the cause of the issue. Of course, there's many things that could actually impact this. The first one could be simply just wear and tear. These do tend to be the cheaper repairs, something like a gasket or a seal or a motor. These are easily replaceable and will tend to be a cheaper repair. Secondly, it could be just general maintenance that's required. All machines do require some level of upkeep. An example of this could be a whipper seal for a bean to cup machine. These tend to be more middle of the road in terms of cost, but are still easily accessible and require minimal effort from an engineer to carry out the maintenance. At the top end of coffee machine repairs in terms of cost, you have things like steam boilers or motherboards of machines failing. With these types of repairs, the repairs do take more time and the actual components themselves are much more expensive. The second factor that influences the cost of repair is clearly the parts. Now within a coffee machine, there are literally hundreds of parts. These all vary in cost. A gasket, a couple of pence, right up to a motherboard, several £100s in some instances. Following on from the cost of the parts themselves, there would be occasions where field service engineers may not have an uncommon part on their van. This could result in additional charge for labour. However, we do pride ourselves as a company on a 98% first-time fix rate, so it is very uncommon that we would turn up to one of our partner sites and we wouldn't be able to repair it first time. The third thing that impacts the cost of a coffee machine repair is the time for an engineer. Clearly, the more time an engineer spends on site, the more labour gets charged for. Therefore, the more complicated the repair, the longer it takes, the more it costs. The simpler the repair is, the less time it will take. If there's a repair that can be carried out over the phone, we can send the part out to you and there won't be a charge for the call-out. Finally, the last factor that will impact the cost of coffee machine repair is whether or not you have some kind of service plan in place with your coffee machine provider. If your breakdown is covered by your plan, there typically wouldn't be any additional cost for the repair to be carried out. The cost of the plan will depend on the provider you go with and the level of cover that they've offered you. Now we've covered all the factors, we'll talk about some real figures. For pay-as-you-go repairs, our charge is £150 for the initial call-out, which includes 30 minutes labour on site and an additional £15 per 15 minutes thereafter. Where parts are used, these will be charged separately. On a pay-as-you-go plan, costs do vary significantly. For a simple steam boiler valve change, this can cost around £300, or you could spend up to £900 on a full steam boiler replacement. This is due to the complexity, time and cost of the part. Our service contracts entitle you to free repairs, a guaranteed level of service and response times. In terms of a ballpark cost for service maintenance, there are of course many things that influence the cost of this, but as a guide for a bean to cup machine, you'll be looking at £700 to £2,000 per annum, depending on the number of machines and type of machines. And for traditional espresso machines, for a full service plan, you'd be looking at somewhere between £500 to £1,200, depending on the level of cover and type of machine. If you have a specific repair you would like us to quote for, or you would like to discuss service plan options, please reach out to our team for any advice or assistance. Or you can find out more on our website.